And remember, the law does not allow you to decide based on sympathy or assumption. You must weigh the credible evidence and make your decision only if the plaintiff has met their burden. At the end of the trial, we are confident you will conclude that the plaintiff has not met that burden, and we will ask you to return a verdict in favor of Pensacon products. Thank you.
Plaintiff, if you're ready, please call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff calls Carmen Capella to the stand.
Have all the witnesses been sworn in?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Would you please state your name and your occupation for the court?
I am Carmen Capella and I am the owner of the dog Sally.
Can you tell me about Sally?
Sally was this really beautiful white West Highland Terrier and she was unusually easy to train.
Can you tell me about her lines?
She was purebred and many really great, just baby dog.
Okay. Can you describe her health and physical condition prior to October of 2023?
She had no health problems. She was never sick.
Okay. And from your experience, was she a good show dog?
Yes, really good.
How successful was she in the competitions?
She won many dog shows and received lots of money.
Okay. And what was awarded to the winners?
Mostly money, but sometimes you also receive products for the dog.
Okay. Can you describe what happened at the American Accredited Breed Dog Show in Washington, D.C.?
Nothing crazy, just normal dog show, all day event, early in the morning.
And how did Sally fare in the competition?
She won best in show.
Okay. And then what did you observe about Sally's condition upon your return home from Washington, D.C.?
That she was itching a lot, and so I decided to treat her for fleas.
Okay. And what diagnosis did you come up with after noticing her symptom of itchiness?
I assumed she had fleas given the amount of dogs that were around at the show, so I treated her with flea shampoo that I happened to have in my cupboard.
Okay. Did you see any evidence that she had fleas?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what did you do after noticing that Sally had fleas?
First, I used a product that I happened to have in my cupboard, and then I went to the basket that I received from one of my dog shows that had Pensacon products and used that for flea treatment.
Okay. And can you explain how you applied the Pensacon product?
I applied the product as directed on the bottle.
Okay. And what happened after you applied the flea treatment?
I noticed that Sally began to get really ill.
Okay. And then what did you do after observing Sally's condition worsen?
Well, I decided we knew I needed to take her to the vet, but because I live in such a remote area, I wasn't able to take her to the vet until the next day because there are just no vets that are open at that time of the night where I live. So I took her to the vet as soon as possible the next day.
Okay. Can you describe your experience at the veterinarian's office?
She checked out Sally and she saw that Sally was extremely sick, and so she sent me home and I left Sally at the vet to get more care.
Perfect. And what did you say to expect of Sally's health in the future?
She said to expect a full recovery for Sally.
Okay. And then what happened in the days following your visit to the vet?
Sally's condition began to get worse.
And what was the final outcome?
She died.
What did you learn about the Pensacon product?
That it is dangerous and nobody should be using it on their pets.
Would the vet ever use Pensacon products on her animals?
No.
Okay. And what impact did Sally's death have on you?
I was extremely sad for many days and I went into a state of mourning.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Any questions?
Oh, yeah.
Honor. Is it on? Miss Capella, you mentioned that Sally was like a member of your family, and I'm sure you grew very close during your time together, correct?
Yes.
Given how much you loved Sally, it's understandable that you would want to seek justice for her, isn't it?
Yes.
It's possible that your strong emotional attachment to Sally might influence how you view the events surrounding her death. Wouldn't you agree?
No, my emotions don't really, I don't affect the way I feel about things and events.
But your emotions led you to bringing this to
Objection.
court, correct?
Question is argument. It's argument.
Hold on.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Your emotional attachment to your dog brought you to the court today, didn't it? So then, you would say you had a strong emotional attachment to your dog.
Yes.
And you described Sally as a natural in her shows. Would you say she was very well trained and talented?
Yeah, she had a really amazing trainer.
And over the course of her career, Sally had an impressive track record, winning several Best in Show awards, correct?
Yes.
You also mentioned receiving a $10,000 prize and gifts, including Petsicon dog food, treats, shampoo, conditioner, and flea treatment products from the very company you are suing, right?
Yeah, it was a prize for one of her shows.
Is it fair to say that Petsicon had a role in your success at these shows, providing you with items that you used for Sally?
No, I think Sally was the one that made my successes.
But wouldn't you say that this company provided you with endorsement opportunities?
Yes.
And now you've testified that after winning at the prestigious dog show, Sally seemed in good health, correct?
No, she was itching and seemed sickly as soon as we got home from the show in DC.
No, not after, before.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Okay. And you mentioned that it wasn't until after using Petsicon's flea treatment that Sally started experiencing health issues, is that correct?
Yes.
And before you applied the flea treatment, had Sally ever shown signs of similar health problems, like neurological issues or weaknesses?
No, she was extremely healthy before using the product.
So let's focus on the timeline. After applying the flea treatment, you observed Sally experiencing neurological problems, including disorientation and weakness, correct?
Yes.
And did you immediately seek veterinary care after noticing these symptoms, or did you wait a while before taking her to the clinic?
Well, I had to wait because, like I said, I live somewhere where I can't really take her to the vet right away, so I had to wait till the next day because there just isn't a vet available at 11 o'clock at night.
And when you took Sally to the vet, did you mention to the veterinarian that she had been recently treated with a product from Petsicon?
Yes, I did.
Before using Petsicon flea treatment, did you consider other flea treatments or consult with your veterinarian about possible options?
Well, given that I just won this a basket with Petsicon products, I assumed that they were the best products, and I just decided to use it.
So no vet consultation occurred?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has already answered the question.
Although.
No, I didn't consult the vet prior to using the product.
And you mentioned that you tried another product, a flea bath, before applying the Petsicon treatment.
Objection, Your Honor. Question lacks foundation. The witness never mentioned she tried flea.
Can you rephrase your question?
In lines of her witness statement, line 62, she mentioned that she had used a flea bath before trying the Petsicon product. She dried her off and hoped for the best, she said.
Well, why don't you ask her if she did that?
Did you do that?
Yes, and the product had zero effect on Sally.
And so the fleas came back.
The fleas just never went away.
Okay. And you mentioned that no necropsy was performed after Sally's death, correct?
Yes.
And without a necropsy, how can you be certain that the flea treatment was the direct cause of her death?
Because the vet said that was the only possible cause for her death.
So you just believed what the vet said and told you?
She's the best vet in my state, so.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Can you describe your professional background and qualifications, if any? How long have you been taking care of Sally?
October 2021.
And what was her health like before October 20th of 2023?
She'd always been a normal, healthy dog.
Can you describe her condition upon her arrival, Sally's condition upon her arrival at your clinic?
Yeah, so when she arrived at my clinic, she already had symptoms including a high temperature, lethargy, disorientation.
And what potential causes did you consider?
It was pretty clear to me that it was the pyrethroid toxicity.
Do you believe Carmen Capella acted in good conscience?
Yes, I think so.
Do you believe she helped Sally to the best of her ability?
Yes.
Can you describe the treatment you administered to Sally?
I gave her a mild detergent bath, inserted IV fluids.
And in your professional opinion, what was the cause of Sally's illness?
I believe the cause of her illness was the product, the Petsicon flea treatment.
Can you describe the progression and outcome of Sally's condition?
Yeah, so throughout as long as she was in my care, she continued to get worse. She had a seizure, and then she eventually died.
Okay. And what, in your professional opinion, was the cause of Sally's death?
I believe the cause of her death was the illness brought on by the Petsicon treatment.
And in your experience, how common are adverse reactions to Petsicon products?
In my experience, I've seen a lot of adverse reactions to these kind of products.
Do you advise your clients to use Petsicon?
No, I would never advise my client to use Petsicon.
Is a necropsy necessary for you to determine a cause of death?
It's not absolutely necessary, no.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Any problem?
Yeah, sure. Miss Delaney, what was the timeline that Miss Capella told you when she took Sally to the vet, of the events that happened at home before she took her to the vet?
She told me that she gave her a flea bath treatment the night before. It didn't work, so she gave the dog the Petsicon flea treatment the day before that I saw her.
So you claim that Carmen Capella had told you that she had given Sally a flea bath with an unnamed flea shampoo before she applied flea treatment by Petsicon. That's correct, isn't it?
That's correct.
You claim that Carmen told you that she saw something terribly wrong happen to Sally, the characteristics of neurotoxicity, and this happened minutes after she had applied both the flea treatment and bathed her in unnamed flea shampoo, right?
This happened after she applied the Petsicon product.
But this also happened after she bathed her in unnamed flea shampoo, correct?
It happened after both.
Also in your affidavit, you state that other compounding factors may have been involved but cannot be determined without additional testing. Isn't that right?
Correct, but the main factor I believe was the treatment.
Was there additional testing, such as necropsy, performed on Sally?
No necropsy was requested, and I did not believe it was necessary.
So therefore, we can agree that the other compounding factors that you have mentioned, not including Petsicon, may have been the cause of Sally's death.
It's possible, but I don't, based on my knowledge of medicine, I don't believe it.
So because it's possible, is there a possibility that one of these compounding factors...
Objection, Your Honor. The question calls for speculation.
Your Honor, I'm asking if there's a possibility, and she's just she just testified that there have been other compounding factors, so I'm asking if one of these compounding factors may be that Petsicon, that the flea treatment is the cause of Sally's death.
Your Honor, if I may, the question involves too many ifs, ands, or buts. It goes from maybe to possibility, and it has no relevance.
I'll allow it.
So therefore, we can agree that other compounding factors, not including Petsicon, may have been the cause of Sally's death. Isn't that correct?
I think it's a possibility, but a very low possibility.
Is there a possibility one of these To conclude, you claimed that it is not necessary for you to make a determination of cause of Sally's death. Is this because you don't want to, or because
Objection,
you cannot
Your Honor.
make a definite
Question
cause
is
of death?
argumentative.
Please rephrase it.
Okay. You have claimed that it is not necessary for you to make to determine a definite cause of Sally's death because you haven't had additional testing, postmortem testing. Is this because you don't want to, or because you can't make a definitive cause of her death?
Again, a necropsy was not requested, and I don't believe it's not necessary.
If you cannot with certainty name the cause of Sally's death, then how can you testify for a side that is trying to sue Petsicon for producing a product that allegedly killed Sally?
I can say that I believe the Petsicon product was the cause of her death.
But you can't be sure of that, can you?
I'm not 100% sure, but I am very positive. I'm very sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Was there any change in Sally's symptoms from the time that Ms. Capella first started noticing the symptoms to the time when she brought her into your veterinary office?
Can you rephrase that, please?
When Ms. Capella first started noticing Sally's symptoms, and she waited until the next morning to bring her into the vet, was there any change in Sally's symptoms?
I'm not aware of any changes that happened before she came into my office.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, any further questions?
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Can you please state your name and occupation for the court?
My name is Jamie St. Clair, and I have been the president and CEO of the American Accredited Dog Breed Show for the past 9 years.
And what qualifications and degrees, if any, do you have?
I got my degree from Metropolitan University.
And what is your experience with the monetary valuation of dogs?
Well, as the president and CEO of the American Accredited Dog Breed Show, as well as affiliated shows, I'm at the forefront of the entire dog showing world.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce an exhibit into the court.
P3 pre-marked, and is it P1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, yes, I have a copy. Spence, do you have a copy of P1?
I believe so. Your Honor.
Yes, please, thank you. Your Honor, you have a copy?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay.
And for the jury. Can you identify this chart?
This is a chart that I prepared to illustrate the average earnings of a successful show dog. As you can see, this last dog is a West Highland Terrier, just like Sally's, and you can see the numbers for yourself.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter this chart into evidence as agreed upon by both parties to be Exhibit P1.
No objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. And how would you evaluate Sally according to this chart?
Well, based on all of my years of experience, as well as all of the available research, I estimate Sally could have earned $500,000 if she had been allowed to continue to compete.
Okay, thank you. And what did you do prior to your current employment?
I worked as a chemical engineer, but I suspect you're referring to my employment at Petsicon.
Can you describe your time employed with Petsicon?
Well, it was all right at first, but there was this whole fiasco with a shampoo line. It was a waterless shampoo where if you didn't wipe the dog off with this specific chamois, it would leave the dog's skin dry and irritated, and I didn't believe it to be safe.
And why did you leave Petsicon?
I'm sorry, I can't say. I signed a contract that prevents me from speaking.
So what was your understanding of Petsicon's product safety?
Well, after the shampoo line failed, Petsicon had lost a lot of money, so their product quality suffered after that.
Do you currently use Petsicon products at your own dog shows?
No, I would never. I would never use it on my dogs or in my shows. I would shout from the rooftops that nobody should use it on their dogs.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce another exhibit to the court, Exhibit P3. Is it on the other side of that?
No.
P3.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Do you have a copy of Exhibit P3? Can you take a moment to examine Exhibit P3 and tell me what it is?
Yes. This is Carmen's dog, Sally, only 2 years old, West Highland Terrier. She's a beautiful dog. In all of my years showing dogs, I never won Best in Show, but you can easily see why Sally did.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce Exhibit P3 into evidence.
Any objection? Submitted.
Thank you. And based on your experience showing dogs, what observations can you make about Sally's physical condition and potential as a show dog?
Well, as you can see in my other chart, this is a West Highland Terrier. You can see how much it earned. Sally, I believe to be an even more impressive dog than the one we had here. You can see Sally for yourself. She has beautiful lines, amazing fur, wonderful temperament.
And what is your opinion on the average earnings of showing a dog versus the expenses of owning one, including endorsements and dog food, etc.?
Well, you see, owning a show dog can partially cover for its own expenses by winning not just money, but products like medicines and endorsements, all kinds of things.
And how much income can a champion show dog bring to its owner?
By way of numbers, up to 6 figures.
And how long would you have expected Sally to continue working as a show dog had she not been killed?
Sally was only 2 years old, so I estimate she could have competed at the highest level for another 4 or 5 years at least.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, yes.
Where you start?
Miss St. Clair, did you ever make any products with Petsicon?
Did I ever make any products with Petsicon?
Yes.
Yeah, I worked there.
Did you claim that you made a shampoo with Petsicon, is that correct?
A waterless shampoo, yes.
How did that go?
Well, there was a lot of testing, but I decided in the end that it simply wasn't safe because of the whole chamois thing. It would leave the dog's skin irritated.
So you believe that the shampoo product was not safe, to clarify?
No.
You claim that the product did not go well due to owners not following instructions you had clearly and explicitly stated on the bottle. That's correct.
Well, at some point, it doesn't matter how clearly you state the instructions because there shouldn't be such an easy way to hurt your dog with a shampoo that's supposed to be safe. Even if they follow the instructions, even if they're supposed to follow the instructions, hurting your dog in that way shouldn't be an option.
But nevertheless, you did state it explicitly on the bottle. And,
The witness has already answered the question.
but nevertheless, you did explicitly state the instructions on the bottle, and yet things still went wrong with the dog, even though what was the product was meant to do and what it was tested on doing was fine and safe.
You could say it that way, I suppose.
As you have stated, the dog was left harmed as a result of this, of the owners not following instructions. That's correct, right?
Well, for the reason I stated earlier, I'm not sure if you could entirely blame the lack of clarity on the bottle for the outcome. The problem was the product, which is why I didn't even want it to hit the shelves.
So, after witnessing the failure of your product, who would you say is responsible for the harm done to dogs whose owners did not follow the instructions clearly given?
I think the problem is still with the company, considering there shouldn't, like I said earlier, as I've stated, there shouldn't be a way to hurt your dog with a product that is supposed to be safe. I mean, nobody thinks that a flea treatment could kill a dog. It's insane.
Yet the way that you designed it was safe, and its outcome was safe when the instructions were being used properly. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. It's a compound question. It's asking for one answer to multiple questions.
Break it down.
Did
Take your time.
your dogs were harmed, correct?
Yes.
And you had tested this product and made sure that it was safe, correct?
Well, like I said, I don't believe it was safe. The way that we tested it did not kill any dogs, but that's like the bare minimum. Calling it safe would be a gross exaggeration.
And yet the product worked when the instructions were used properly. That's correct, isn't it?
I suppose.
Okay, so would you agree that there may be some great resemblance between your shampoo situation and the situation Petsicon is facing with Carmen Capella and her dog?
Objection, Your Honor. The question calls for speculation.
All out.
Can you repeat the question?
Would you agree that there may be some great resemblance between your shampoo situation and the situation Petsicon is facing with Carmen Capella and her dog?
No, I don't believe there is a similarity there, because with the product that we designed at Petsicon, the waterless shampoo, there was a way to apply it safely if you followed the instructions, but Carmen did follow the instructions, and this product was still unsafe.
So, Because of this situation, you started to butt heads with the CEO of Petsicon, Pat O'Connell, over the whole shampoo fiasco, as you've called it. That's correct?
I suppose.
And you were put in charge of developing Petsicon shampoo products, isn't that right?
Yes.
And because of your failure in the shampoo line, funds were lost and Petsicon was forced to look elsewhere for chemicals and supplies. That's correct, isn't it?
I'm not sure if I would consider it my failure. It's not as though I was the sole participant in this product.
Were you in charge of the operation of developing Petsicon shampoo products?
Indeed.
And Petsicon shampoo products failed?
It did.
Would you agree that whether you knew it or not, this may or may not have put strain on your relationship with O'Connell, whose business was experiencing difficulty because of your failure?
If there was strain on that relationship, it certainly is not on my end. I bear him no ill will.
Now, about Pat O'Connell, you claim that you left the company by your own will, right?
I can't speak about my leaving.
However, you also agree that you agree that there are rumors that you were forced out or fired from Petsicon, which you are unable to elaborate on. Isn't that correct?
I didn't realize rumors were evidence to report to a court.
I'm asking if you were aware that there were these rumors, and you agree that there are these rumors out there.
Objection, Your Honor. The question is a comment.
Sustained. I don't think you should be asking about rumors.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. Did Petsicon used to benefit from its products being used at your shows?
Petsicon used to benefit from its products being used at my shows. Yes.
And we can agree that by you cutting off Petsicon products from being used at shows, this harms Petsicon owner Pat O'Connell, right?
It was never about harming Pat
Objection.
O'Connell.
The question calls for speculation. The witness has no personal knowledge of whether something harmed Pat O'Connell.
Your Honor, we can assume that when a business owner's business is experiencing difficulty, the business owner takes the brunt of it.
I'd rephrase that if you can.
Would you agree that Petsicon was being harmed by being cut off from the dog shows?
It was never about harming Petsicon to me. Believe it or not, my thought was not for Petsicon. I was thinking of the dogs at my shows. Their safety is my #1 priority.
But you do agree that that Petsicon did get harmed by not being used at these shows?
Objection, Your Honor. Witness has already answered the question.
I am at liberty to do business or not do business with whomever I please. I'm not responsible for upkeeping Petsicon by using their products, especially if I don't believe their products to be quality.
And this cutting off of Petsicon from being used at shows, this comes after you left Petsicon somewhat mysteriously, correct?
Well, naturally, I wasn't in charge of the dog shows before that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any-
I would like to call Val Pompage to stand. Please state your name and occupation.
Val Poppinger, I'm a financial accountant.
Please briefly explain your experience, if any, with dogs, especially Westies.
I've had a Westie in my childhood.
What was the Westie's name?
Star.
How would you describe Star's experience in competitions?
Not very successful.
Did you have any insight on the financial upkeeping of Star?
Yes, I took over the family books at a young age.
Do you have any observations from those books?
Star was costing us more money than she was making.
What led you to believe this?
She was a Westie. Westies aren't known to be smartest. She had a lot of health issues.
So because you have experience with the books of your family and Star's bills and everything, how much would show fees and handler bills have cost for Wendy's?
Objection, Your Honor.
How much would show fees and handler bills have cost for Westies?
I believe I've made a pie chart show.
Your Honor, I'd like to present an exhibit.
Is that D1?
Thank you.
Can you identify this exhibit?
There's one on the floor next.
This here is my estimate for the expenses of a Westie's lifespan, such as Sally's.
How much would show fees and handler bills have cost for Westie? Based on this exhibit.
Handler fees would have costed about $11,200, while show fees exceeding.
Objection, Your Honor. There's no evidence that I would like to object to the witness's testimony and ask it to be stricken from the record because there's no evidence that show fees in your chart would be larger than that already included in the handbook fees. And it is unfair challenge.
Your Honor, I don't believe that this is unfair. I believe that this is just explaining the expenses and what would be paid for an average Westie, and explaining why it's not a financial gain to have a competing Westie.
No, I understand that. I guess the question is, what's included in these charts?
Should I
Just stick to the chart. Don't add additional things. It's unfair extrapolation of your rules.
With that understanding, you can proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. How much does travel cost for an owner traveling to a show with her dog?
$18,000.
And how often would these shows occur?
As often enough.
Objection. I don't believe that is included in the witness statement, and I would again say that is unfair extrapolation.
What is an average top prize for an average show? Based upon your experience in having Star.
I believe it to be
What, in your opinion, do you believe Sally's chances of winning another big dog show would be? Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Do you have any cross? Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. And evaluate a show dog as an expert, correct?
correct.
Somehow, you have testified in 4 cases, over 50 reports, all the defense, correct?
Correct.
And you're sticking to work with the defense yet again, correct? You base your evaluation of Sally on your childhood experience with your family pet, correct?
No. Not correct.
Your Honor, I would like to refer the witness to her affidavit. May I introduce it to the court as Exhibit P4?
Certainly.
Do you have a copy of Val Poppinger's witness statement?
Not one that's unmarked.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Your Honor, here's a copy of the witness statement. And for you, Your Honor. I would like to refer you to line, would you please read line 11 aloud for the court?
You could say that this expertise of mine stems from my childhood experience.
Thank you. That's a lot of opinion drive from one dog, correct?
I suppose it is.
Yet you believe that your testimony is just as important as St. Clair's, correct? How are you and your brother treated compared to Star?
Not well.
Okay. And your life revolved around this dog who was getting fed better than you were, correct?
I suppose it is.
You even spent Christmas at a veterinarian center far from home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to refer to Exhibit D1. Do I have to introduce it to the court again?
No.
Thank you.
Referred.
In your Exhibit D1, do you have a copy of Exhibit D1? Thank you. Can you detail the expenses that you were labeling as miscellaneous after food, medicine, and kennels?
$11,000.
Correct. But can you explain what the miscellaneous refers to, like what expenses these are?
This refers to extra expenses, clothing, and washing, all of this.
Oh, so you attribute these to Sally's expenses? You prepared a table of potential expenses for your expert report, but no table of potential earnings, correct?
Correct.
And some of these expenses are expenses every dog owner would incur, correct? Such as feeding the dogs, medications, vet bills, and also including clothing and washing.
Yes, but you see here, these would outweigh the earnings.
Okay. So the cost attributed to being a show dog, even if we took your figures as correct, would be much lower than the number you cite in your chart, correct? Just specifically to a show dog rather than to a family pet.
I suppose it.
Okay, so in reading your report, you've not provided an expert opinion as to Sally's likely earnings, right? Okay. And you also don't include any endorsements that show dogs like Sally, who won the American Accredited Breed Dog Show, would have won, correct? This is because earnings are too speculative, correct?
Yes, they're not solid enough.
But your anticipated expenses are anticipated, correct?
Yes, but they're more.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, would you please instruct the witness to answer the question with a yes or no?
Can you answer the question as it's asked?
Yes or no, you assumed these are only anticipated expenses, correct? Okay. You assumed that Sally never ate slightly cheaper dog food, correct?
Correct.
And you assume that Carmen Capella used the most expensive groomer, correct? Are Westies normally smart?
No,
And for most Westies, how many times do you have to practice a command before they understand it?
about 40 times.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
I've worked for PetScon for over 25 years.
And can you describe your role at Petsicon and your background in your field?
Objection, Your Honor. So, question is calling for a narration.
Oh,
I worked in I initially started in the chemical engineering field and then added my job on with another job, which is to investigate any dog that may become ill that has eaten at PetScon.
So you've conducted investigations into potential issues.
Objection, Your Honor. Question is leading the witness.
it is. Please rephrase.
So your work at Petsicon led you to the investigations field of the company, correct?
Objection. Question is still leading the witness.
Yep, it's leading. Try to make, just ask him about what you want and without it
So-
making it yes or no.
So in your role at Petsicon, what investigations did you proceed with?
Dogs that some people had completely ignored the warning labels that we put on all of our products. We extensively research we do extensive research before producing any of our products. Not all dogs are individuals, so
So have you conducted investigations into issues that were caused by Petsicon products in the past?
Objection, Your Honor. Question is leading the witness.
It is leading. You can ask the question in a way without it making yes or no.
So with these investigations that you conducted, did it lead you to find any issues with Petsicon products in your investigations?
Objection. Question is still leading.
Yep, it's leading. Just ask him about the investigation.
So what other investigations did you proceed with?
investigations
hazardous state where people ignore the reading, the labels, and the dog, and our products are extensively researched.
And what steps did you take when you were called to investigate the death of Sally?
I get in touch with the person, ask about the general health of the animal before the animal got sick, the breed, how old the animal was, if there was any illness before the product was placed before the animal, and the animal ate it.
What information did Carmen Capella provide regarding the products used on Sally before her death?
The information gave specific instructions on how to use the product. And Carmen obviously did not follow that.
But what information did Carmen provide regarding the products used on her?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has already answered the question.
I'll allow.
I just don't think he understood the question fully, so I'm asking him to clarify.
The information was she obviously misread the information.
And in your expert opinion, how does the age of a product affect its safety?
After about 1 year, the product begins to break down, and yes. So if you use the product after the expiration date, the dog may become sick.
And did you find any evidence that a Petsicon product could have caused Sally's death in your investigation?
No, because every product we research thoroughly before we do extensive research before producing our products. But of course, every dog is different. So,
And what can you tell us about the flea treatment that was used?
the flea treatment was from that's gone, and but we don't know if she read we don't know if it had expired. We don't know if she read exactly how much to use, and we don't know the condition in which the dog was treated at the show.
So, given the circumstances of this case, what was your main challenge in determining the cause of Sally's death through your investigation?
There was no necropsy performed. There were no toxicology reports, so we can never tell. We are never going to be able to tell exactly what caused Sally's death. We don't know if she misread the label or not.
So, based on your investigation, what conclusion did you come to?
We don't know.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any cross?
Want to please your boss, right?
Yes, and I also want to please my customers.
And Sally's death was big news in the industry, correct?
Correct.
Do you know what type of health Sally was in prior to using the Petsicon product?
She was in good condition.
And how is Sally after having used the Petsicon product?
She was already not feeling great before the Petsicon product was applied.
I'd like to object, Your Honor. There is no evidence that Sally wasn't feeling well before the Petsicon product was applied.
It's pretty clear on that one, just now.
Okay.
Should I re-ask the question?
You can ask it again.
Okay. And how was Sally after having used the Petsicon product?
She she began to feel sick. At the same time, we don't know if Carmen Capella did not read the label, and if the product.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Would you please instruct the witness to answer the questions, yes or no? No, sorry. Is Sally dead now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can different dogs have different reactions to the same product?
Yes, but
Thank
all
you.
our products
Thank
are
you.
sensitive to
Thank you. And have you conducted tests on the effects of this product on West Highland White Terriers in particular?
Yes.
Okay. Is this type of investigation routine for you?
Yes, it is.
So you have many other cases of dog dying after having used a Petsicon product, correct?
Some, not very often.
Okay. Do you have any reason to believe the Petsicon product used by Miss Capella was old?
It could have been old. And
But do you have any evidence? Yes or
I
no?
don't have evidence, but it could have been old.
Okay. And how long does it take the flea treatment to break down?
1 year.
Okay. And do you have any reason to believe Miss Capella used the product wrong in any way?
I do believe that Ms. Capella could have used the product.
Do you have any reason to believe that she misused the product in any way?
Yes, because she.
Um,
she said that
What's your basis of this knowledge?
I do not have. I do not have knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Thank you. Any redirect?
No.
The last witness?
Yes, the defense will call Pat O'Connor. Miss O'Connell, please state your name and occupation for the court.
My name is Debbie Pat O'Connell, and I am the president and CEO of Petsicon Products, Inc.
Miss O'Connell, how long have you been the CEO of Petsicon?
I have
Objection, Your Honor. Never mind, objection rescinded, sorry.
I have been the CEO of Petsicon for 10 years, and I've had 35 years of experience in this industry.
Can you explain Petsicon's business model?
Well, we work tirelessly to make sure that our products are safe and effective.
So what steps did you take when you came to be CEO to ensure the safety and quality of Petsicon products with your job?
We made sure that every product was thoroughly examined before being released to our customers so that it would be safe, because the safety of the dogs is our #1 priority.
So what steps did you take when you were called to investigate the death of Sally, the show dog?
Never mind.
Proceed.
I don't know, or I don't remember.
Would you like me to ask the question again?
Yeah.
So what steps did you take when you were called to investigate the death of Sally, the show dog?
I actually don't remember that.
May I refer the witness to her affidavit, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So we always examine the risks of of our products, and we make sure that they are completely safe, and we use that our risk-based continuum to make sure that every product is safe.
So with that information, when you investigated the death of Sally, did you use similar procedures?
Yeah.
And what information did Carmen Capella provide regarding the products used on Sally before her death?
Carmen Capella, if I remember clearly, she used a flea bath treatment, and then she applied the product, our Petsicon flea treatment on Carmen Capella, on her dog. We don't know exactly how she used it or if she misused it, and we aren't aware of the flea bath shampoo that she used on her dog either.
And you spoke about a zero tolerance policy for unsafe products. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, since the safety, as I said before, like the safety of the dogs is our #1 priority, so we always make sure that we thoroughly examine our products before we put it to our customers so that they're not only effective but also safe.
So what approach does Petsicon take to assess product risks?
We use that continuum, our continuum, to make sure that every risk is analyzed on our products.
And so regarding your flea and tick products, can you explain the role of pyrethroids and how they affect pets versus insects?
So this ingredient pyrethroids, we use pyrethroids type 1, which is found from the extract of the plant chrysanthemum, if I'm saying that correctly. And it is actually very harmless to dogs. And
Objection, Your Honor. This is unfair extrapolation because there's no evidence in your written statement that it is at all harmless to dogs.
It isn't, though. It kills insects on the fur of the dog, but it does not harm the dog. It would require doses thousands of times greater to affect the dog.
I'd like to read from the witness statement because I think the phrasing is kind of
Maybe you want to do that
on the cross. Okay.
Okay.
So how much of these pyrethroids chemicals would it take to hurt a dog, potentially?
Yeah, like I said, 1,000 times greater to harm a dog. It's really harmless to dogs. It's only
Objection,
targeted.
Your Honor. The witness statement clearly states that it takes thousands of doses to become toxic to the dog, not to harm the dog. This is line 39 to 40.
Well, it is. If it was toxic, it would harm the dog.
Right, but
Yeah, I think if you want to make that point, do it on cross.
Listen, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna ask you to just try not to object anymore because we're running so late, we've gotta move it along, okay? I know that's gonna not be great, but that's just the way it's gotta be, okay? Thank you.
So what concerns do some people express about Petsicon's pesticides products, and how do you respond to those concerns?
Well, there are definitely some cases, we hear these horror stories where these dogs get really sick from using our products, but it's usually in cases where people misuse our products, and we work really hard to make sure that these products are safe as long as they are used correctly. And if they are misused, there's not much we can do about that.
And what concerns, if any, were expressed by Petsicon employees about your product safety?
Well, there was one employee who made a video and was reading and talking about our products, but I would simply ignore that, and because the person just needed help.
So how did Petsicon's public image respond to this situation?
We simply ignored this former employee because what they were saying didn't make any sense.
And has Petsicon explored alternatives to traditional pesticides like insect growth regulators?
Yes, we have been doing some research into those regulators, but as of now, we are more focused on using the pesticides.
When Petsicon makes product changes, is it usually in response to safety risks or more related to business needs?
It is definitely much more, as we are a growing business, we keep up to date with to expand our business and, yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna interject. I have like one more question.
Okay.
And then you have to abbreviate yours. I'm sorry that it might affect the trial, but we're so late.
Do you want me to go tell them they should start doing something?
And finally, how does Petsicon respond to concerns or losses expressed by pets owners?
Well, we continue to encourage our customers to please follow the instructions carefully and to avoid any possible bad outcomes, because as long as the products are being used properly, they will be safe.
Thank you. No further questions.
Rob?
Yes, sir. What company do you work for?
Petsicon.
You have heard a lot of stories about pets dying after using your products, correct?
Yes.
Pyrethroids kill fleas, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that the ingredient pyrethroids is also toxic to dogs?
It can be.
Can pets have reactions to pyrethroids?
If it's used like in really high doses, like
Your Honor, would you please instruct the witness to answer the questions yes or no?
I think in this case, you can answer it this way.
Okay. Pets are just less sensitive to pyrethroids than the insects they are intended to kill, correct?
yeah,
So animals have a harsher reaction to pyrethroids if they're smaller than, correct?
pyrethroids have to be used in really doses thousands of times greater to be harmful to pets.
Would you say that the smaller the animal, the harsher the reaction has to pyrethroids?
No, not necessarily. I don't think that has to do with the size of an animal.
Okay, no other questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Is the fence rest?
Yes.
Okay. I guess we're not taking a 4-minute break.
Members of the jury, we've now reached the conclusion of the trial, and it's time to reflect on the evidence that has been presented. We began with the tragic story of Carmen Capella and her beloved dog Sally. What was supposed to be a moment of celebration after Sally's prestigious win turned into a nightmare. You heard from Miss Capella herself as she recounted the devastating effects of Petsicon's dangerous flea treatment. You witnessed her pain as she described Sally's rapid decline and death, a death linked directly to Petsicon's product. The other side is trying to convince you that the over-the-counter gel product Carmen Capella used on Sally reacted with the Petsicon product to cause Sally's death. However, it is completely unreasonable to assume that a product is safe as long as you do not use a single other over-the-counter flea product without marking it on the bottle. You will also note that Petsicon is the only one which has evidence of being unsafe. Carmen Capella should have been able to trust Petsicon to make a safe product. Dr. Alex Delaney, a respected veterinarian, testified to Sally's healthy condition before the application of the Petsicon product, showed a clear link between that product and Sally's death. Dr. Delaney's professional opinion confirmed the fatal consequences of Petsicon's negligence. Jamie St. Clair, a seasoned expert in canine evaluation, provided compelling testimony about Sally's exceptional potential as a show dog. You saw the data, the projected earnings, the undeniable evidence that Sally was destined for greatness. Ms. St. Clair's testimony showed the immense financial and personal loss caused by Petsicon's reckless actions. In contrast, the defense presented a series of witnesses whose credibility and expertise were questionable at best. Pat O'Connell, the CEO of Petsicon, attempted to downplay the numerous complaints and known dangers of their products. Her testimony revealed a company more concerned with protecting its bottom line than ensuring the safety of animals. Sam Stone, an investigator, appeared to be more interested in pleasing his boss than in uncovering the truth. And Val Popinjay, an accountant with a childhood dog story, tried to pass off her personal anecdotes as expert testimony, a stark contrast to the seasoned expertise of Ms. St. Clair. Ms. Popinjay doesn't even factor in endorsements like food and medicine that a good show dog like Sally would have wanted. Contrast the testimony of Ms. Capella, Dr. Delaney, and Ms. St. Clair with the testimony of Ms. O'Connell, Mr. Stone, and Ms. Popinjay. Who can you trust? The plaintiff, Ms. Capella, has the burden of proving the case by preponderance of the evidence. We've met that burden. The evidence overwhelmingly demonstrates that Petsacon's product caused Sally's death. Petsacon had a duty to ensure the safety of its products, and they breached that duty by selling a dangerous product and failing to provide warnings. Award Ms. Capella full compensation of $500,000. The defense has attempted to muddy the waters to distract you from the simple truth. First, Sally was a champion showdown. Second, Sally was healthy. Third, Carmen Capella used a Petsacon product on Sally. And fourth, Sally got sick and immediately died. I'm confident that after carefully considering all of the evidence, you will find in favor of Ms. Capella and award her the full measure of damages for her $500,000 loss. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Time to charge the jury. Okay. I read you your instructions on how to deliberate and how to judge the evidence. Members of the jury, I will now instruct you about the law you must follow in deciding this case. I will explain the elements of the claims brought against the defendant, which it was plaintiff's duty to prove by a preponderance of the evidence. This means Ms. Capella had to prove it was more likely than not that Petsacon was at fault. Weighing the evidence. You must take the evidence submitted in this trial and decide the facts. The evidence includes testimony and exhibits, but not arguments of counsel. The law recognizes both direct evidence, such as eyewitness testimony, and indirect evidence, such as proof of a chain of circumstances that tend to make the occurrence of an event more or less likely. It is for you to judge the credibility of witnesses, considering things such as their motives, demeanor, and apparent accuracy of recollection. Similarly, you should determine how reliable two experts are and weigh their testimony accordingly. Once you have decided the facts, you will then apply the law as I am about to explain it to you, those facts. The claims. Here, Ms. Capella has brought a claim against Petsacon that their flea product was defectively designed such that it resulted in the death of her dog, Sally. Ms. Capella also alleges failure to warn of a reasonably foreseeable risk of the use of Petsacon's flea product. Defective design. A manufacturer has a duty to design a product such that it is free of unreasonably defective conditions. To find for Ms. Capella on her claim of design defect, you must find, 1, that the flea product was unreasonably dangerous. 2, that Ms. Capella used the product in a manner that Petsacon should have reasonably anticipated. And 3, that the defective product resulted in harm to Ms. Capella's dog, Sally. Failure to warn. A manufacturer also has a duty to warn of reasonably foreseeable arising from the use of its product. Consequences?
Okay, damages, I guess, sorry.
The damages. To find that Petsacon breached its duty to warn, you must find, 1, that there was a reasonably foreseeable risk from the use of the Petsacon flea treatment. This can include misuse that the manufacturer should have known were likely. 2, that the warning Petsacon provided was inadequate. And 3, that the absence of that warning resulted in harm to Sally. However, our state considers to what extent each party may have been at fault. This is called comparative negligence. You need not find one party was 100% at fault. If you find Ms. Capella more than 50% at fault, you must rule in Petsacon's favor and award no damages. If you find Petsacon at least 50% responsible, you should decide what dollar amount would fully and fairly compensate Ms. Capella. Now, you will go to the jury room and deliberate and vote. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. So I'm gonna go sit with them, and when they're ready, I'll announce if they have a verdict.
Should we
and
just wait
call you
here?
Back in. No, because it probably takes them a very long time.
We can
We can get our lunch and wait in here, because
Whatever
otherwise.
you guys want.
We'll come back tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Let me pull them out, and we'll see how fast it goes. All right, let's just go to another.
Good job.
You guys? Oops, I need to. Good job, Michael.
Well done.
Thank you. Let's go to the next room. Okay?
Good job, Michael. Good job.
Yeah.